So one thing you can do, if you really want to stress your performance, if you really want to see, is this a good design? There are some tools out there actually to make some dummy data. There's some tools out there to make some dummy data. They are very, very useful. Okay, they're very, very useful because there's tools out there that can make you, just with a few clicks of the button, can give you 100,000 records. Done like that. That's a great way to see if your design will hold up. Make sense? Much quicker than handcrafting the data. But you still need to learn how to handcraft the data because you still need good data. There's only so far you can go with data that is completely generated. Okay? So there's kind of a balance, right? Are you going with stress testing the performance? In that case, you want to get a bunch of garbage data generated for you. If you're trying to kind of design the application and figure out how it should work, is it usable and things like that, handcrafted data is generally better. Okay, so usually the kind of balance that I find is usually I make some handcrafted data for myself and then I add on a bunch of random data. So I do both and. Okay. If I remember right, so yeah, this is it. So this is called Mockaroo.com. Okay, this is a really helpful website. I would recommend bookmarking it. It can give you a whole bunch of test data, and it can give you a bunch of different formats. You can have it spit it out to you in a CSV file. You can spit it out as a big SQL insert statement, or you can have it spit out as JSON, which you can then insert into your MongoDB database. So it really works with any kind of database that you could imagine, which is great, right?
Are we using this for the bug tracking?
I would not recommend using this yet. Okay, I would not recommend using this yet, but you might want to use this with the bug tracker. I would not recommend using it at this point in time, but down the road you might want to. Okay, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I prefer you to handcraft the data at this point. It's really what I want you to do is handcraft those bugs. But once you get to a point where you really want to test performance, this is a great tool. Okay? You can say, hey, what columns do I want? What fields do I want? And then how to output it. So for by default, it's the output format is a CSV. If you want to make it work for Mongo, you're going to just switch it over to JSON, and it'll spit it out as JSON data. So this is going to give me 1,000 rows of JSON. If I hit download data, there's 1,000 customers. Done, just like that. So this is a really, really helpful tool, okay, for really stress testing it beyond what you're going to be able to do in class, which is your own data.